Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to our American Gods Season 2, Episode 5 Thoughts video. I just finished watching Episode 5, The Ways of the Dead. In this episode, Shadow learns the ways of the dead with the help of Mr. Ibis and Mr. Nancy. In New Orleans, Matt Sweeney introduces Laura to old friends who share their world of voodoo healing, and Mr. Wednesday embarks on a road trip with Samil and the Jinn. So yeah, I just finished watching this episode. I'm just going to be sharing my general thoughts, which are, again, this is another great episode. I love every episode of American Gods, but this was another really fun one with us getting Matt Sweeney and Laura teamed back up again, going through some stuff in New Orleans, checking out a new aspect of the world, this time voodoo. We learned a little bit about voodoo in this one, and then Shadow learning a little bit about the ways of the dead. He was kind of haunted by a ghost, as it kind of seemed. It was kind of unclear, and no one wants to explain it to him, and I feel his frustration, which, you know, at the end of the episode he says, "Fuck you guys," and just walks out on three gods, and I'm like, no, I get that, man, I get that. These guys are frustrating. They can't give you a straight answer to save you shit. Like, you don't know if you screwed the cat or not. Like, I understand your frustration, Shadow, so I'm right on board with him there, because he gets put through, well, not put through a whole lot in this episode, but does get kind of possessed at one point, which, you know, if no one explains that to you after, it's kind of, that would be unnerving, I would imagine. So I'm right on board with Shadow and the fact that everyone's still messing around with him. But that was an enjoying part of it. I was kind of confused at first how it was going to tie in, and then it kind of explained itself throughout the episode, as things do tend to do. But yeah, another interesting part was getting Sweeney and Laura teamed up again in New Orleans. I think I already mentioned that. Next note, the Somewhere in America. I like this little trope that or not trope, a little thing, title that they keep throwing in. They had it in the first season a lot. This is the first time I've remembered to actually mention it. This episode, I like the way they do it because they have it painted across like a storefront, and so I just like the unique ways they bring in that Somewhere in America theme. I also really enjoyed the road trip with Odin, Samil, and the Jinn, especially with the Jinn and Samil kind of arguing about why Samil has literally met gods and still believes in his particular god as the one above all. And so that was an interesting part, especially with, you know, Odin there in the back being like, oh, if you got worship to go around, consider me Mr. Wednesday, always around for a good time. And I'm just like, oh, Wednesday, you old dog, you. And I just really enjoyed that part. And then they go off to see the King of the Dwarves, who was also one of the dwarves from Once Upon a Time. One of the 7 dwarves in Once Upon a Time. So I thought that was a funny little connection. It was just nice to see that actor again. And again, another part that they introduced into this kind of the mythos of this universe. There's a King of the Dwarves who had the ability, I guess, to help mend his Odin's spear thing, but it also needs some other help, some ruins help, some magic writing help, so I guess we're off to see somebody else in that one. But yeah, that's all my general thoughts about this episode of American Gods. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you thought of episode 5. Thanks again for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.